For the past 11 years, I have been buying in bulk and rotating stock through harvest cycles that most people never pay attention to. While everyone is panic buying freeze-dried meals and can soup when the news starts screaming about food shortages, I quietly stock a completely different category of items. Number 6 is sitting in your local Costco right now for under $19, and it contains more calories per dollar than almost anything else in the warehouse. The problem is that when everyone reads the same prepper blogs and watches the same YouTube channels, that is exactly what disappears first. Back in March 2020, I watched rice and beans get cleared out in 4 hours at 3 different stores. But the item I am about to show you at number 3, fully stocked the next day, still there a week later. Nobody touched it. Climate models are now showing a high probability of simultaneous crop failures across multiple grain-producing regions in 2026. Whether it is drought in the Midwest, floods in Asia, or both, the convergence point is real. And here's what nobody is saying. By the time the mainstream news picks this up, the smart stuff will already be gone. Not the obvious stuff, the smart stuff. If you are tired of getting the same recycled prepping advice, hit subscribe right now, because I only put out videos when I actually have something new to share. Let me show you the 10 Costco bulk items that will carry you through what is coming, and why most preppers will completely miss them. Number 1 is going to sound boring, but stay with me because the math on this is absolutely insane. Costco's Kirkland Organic Coconut Oil. The giant 2-pack with the 84-ounce jars. Most people walk right past this thinking it is just for cooking or some kind of health food trend. Here is what they are missing. Fat is the most calorie-dense macronutrient that exists. 9 calories per gram. Protein and carbs? 4 calories per gram. Your body needs fat. Not wants. Needs. Your brain is 60% fat. Your cell walls are made of fat. In a prolonged shortage scenario where you are rationing food, fat is what keeps you functional. I learned this the hard way during a winter power outage 3 years ago when we were stuck eating rice and canned vegetables for 9 days. By day 5, I felt like my brain was shutting down. Everything felt slow. Then I remembered I had a jar of coconut oil in the pantry. Started adding 2 tablespoons to everything. Rice, oatmeal, even just ate it straight off the spoon. Within 2 days, my mental clarity came back. Here is a practical mechanic. Coconut oil has a shelf life of about 2 years at room temperature, but if you keep it sealed and cool, I have opened jars that were 4 years old. Perfect condition. Solid when cool, liquid when warm, zero rancidity. The 2-pack at Costco runs about $18. That is 5,250 grams of pure fat, over 47,000 calories, for $18. Meanwhile, preppers are spending $200 on buckets of freeze-dried meals that give you maybe 30,000 calories and taste like cardboard. And here's why this survives every shortage. Coconut oil sits in the health food section, not the emergency prep aisle. When panic hits, people raid the canned goods and the rice. They ignore the oils. I watched it happen in real time in 2020. Look, food prices are not just rising, they are becoming completely unpredictable. I have done the math for you and put together a free Costco bulk prep blueprint that lists the exact items to buy, how much to store per person, and what it actually costs. It can feed a family of 4 for a full month and costs less than what most people spend on 2 weeks of restaurant meals. You can grab it for free at the link in the description, so you can stop guessing and start actually prepping with a plan. Number 2 is one of those items that preppers completely overlook because it does not fit the survival food stereotype. Kirkland Dry Roasted Macadamia Nuts. The big 2.5-pound container. Before you say, those are expensive, let me reframe this. These are 204 calories per ounce. Mostly fat. The good kind. They are calorie-dense, shelf-stable, and they require zero preparation. No cooking. No water. No fuel. You can eat them straight out of the container. Last spring, I did a 3-day hiking trip where I intentionally brought nothing but macadamia nuts, dried fruit, and water. Averaged about 22 miles a day. Never felt better. Here is what most people do not know. Nuts like macadamias contain natural antioxidants that actually help preserve them. If you vacuum seal them or even just keep them in a cool, dark place, they last 18 months easily, sometimes longer. I have eaten macadamias that were 2 years old. No rancid taste. Still crunchy. The container at Costco runs about $24 for 2.5 pounds. That is 40 ounces, over 8,000 calories. Now compare that to those trendy survival bars that give you maybe 400 calories per bar at $3 each. You would need 20 bars to match one container of macadamias, and you would spend $60 doing it. And here's the shortage-proof angle. When people panic, they think in food and rice. They do not think luxury nuts. Macadamias sit in the snack aisle, totally ignored. I checked my local Costco during 3 different shortages over the past 4 years. Always fully stocked. Number 3 sounds like something your grandma would buy, but it is absolute gold for long-term storage. Costco's Kirkland Organic Honey. The 3-pound jug. Honey is the only food that literally never goes bad. Archaeologists have found honey in Egyptian tombs that is over 3,000 years old and still edible. The reason is simple chemistry. Honey is too acidic and too low in moisture for bacteria to survive. It might crystallize over time, but you just warm it up and it goes right back to liquid. I keep a rotation of 6 jugs in my pantry at all times. Here's a real-world story. 2 winters ago, during an ice storm, we lost power for 6 days. No heat, no stove. I made what I call survival oatmeal. Uncooked oats soaked overnight in water with a huge spoonful of honey mixed in. You can eat it cold. The honey gives you instant energy. The oats give you sustained fuel, and it actually tastes good. Food monotony is a real thing during a crisis. Boring food makes you exhausted and irritable when you need to be sharp. Honey fixes that. Here is what I do. Use it to sweeten anything, mix it into tea, spread it on bread, or just take a spoonful when you need fast energy. A 3-pound jug at Costco costs about $13. That is 48 ounces of pure, never-expiring calories. Over 4,000 calories per jug. Compare that to sugar, which clumps, attracts moisture, and does not give you any of the trace minerals and enzymes that honey provides. And here is why it survives panic buying. Honey sits with the baking supplies or the health section. It does not look like survival food. People overlook it completely. This one is going to surprise you. Number 4 is Kirkland Organic Quinoa, the 4.5-pound bag. Most people think quinoa is just some trendy health food, but here's the insight nobody talks about. Quinoa is a complete protein. It contains all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot make on its own. Rice does not do that. Pasta does not do that. Oats do not do that. If you are in a scenario where meat is unavailable or too expensive, quinoa becomes one of the only plant-based foods that can sustain you without protein deficiency. I know a guy who manages food distribution for a major grocery chain, been in the business for 19 years, and he told me that quinoa is one of the last items to move during shortages because most Americans still do not know what to do with it. That is your advantage. Last year, during a 2-week budget challenge I did for another video, I lived on quinoa, coconut oil, and canned vegetables. 15 days. I felt completely fine. No energy crashes. No brain fog. Here's a practical mechanic. Cook quinoa exactly like rice. 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. Bring it to a boil, then simmer for 15 minutes. Done. You can add it to soups, eat it as a side, or mix in honey and cinnamon for breakfast. It is stupid simple. The 4.5-pound bag at Costco runs about $12. That is 72 ounces, roughly 7,500 calories, and it stores for 2 to 3 years in a sealed container. Compare that to freeze-dried protein sources that cost 5 times as much and taste like dust. Here is why it survives shortages. Quinoa sits in the organic or international aisle. Panic buyers do not even see it. They are too busy fighting over the rice, and beans 2 aisles over. Number 5 is one of those items that preppers laugh at until they actually need it. Kirkland Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil, the 2-liter bottle. People hear olive oil and think cooking oil, but this is way more than that. Olive oil is another calorie-dense fat source, and unlike seed oils that go rancid quickly, good olive oil lasts 18 to 24 months, sometimes longer if stored properly. I have a bottle in my pantry right now that is 2 years old. Still smells fresh. Still tastes perfect. Here's what happened last summer. I had a friend visiting who was into ultralight backpacking, and we got into a debate about the best calorie sources for long treks. He swore by those expensive energy gels. I handed him a small bottle of olive oil and told him to try it. 2 tablespoons of olive oil is 240 calories. He put in his pack, used it on a 4-day trip, came back and admitted I was right. He mixed it into his instant rice, drizzled it on jerky, even drank a bit straight when he needed fast fuel. Total game changer. Here's the mechanic. Use olive oil on literally everything. Rice, pasta, vegetables, bread. It adds calories without adding bulk or weight. Your body absorbs it fast. The 2-liter bottle at Costco costs about $16. That is about 67 ounces, roughly 15,000 calories. Compare that to butter, which needs refrigeration, or seed oils, which oxidize and turn toxic over time. Olive oil just sits there, stable and ready. And here's the shortage angle. Olive oil sits in the cooking aisle. When shortages hit, people raid canned goods, the rice, the pasta. They do not think about oils. I have checked inventory during every major shortage event since 2020. Olive oil is always there. Number 6 is the one I teased at the beginning, and the value here is borderline ridiculous. Kirkland organic peanut butter. The 2-pack of 28-ounce jars. Most people know peanut butter is good for storage, but they do not understand just how good. Peanut butter is calorically dense, shelf-stable for up to a year unopened in months after opening, protein-rich, and it requires 0 preparation. You can eat it with a spoon. I did an experiment last winter where I tracked my actual cost per calorie across my entire pantry. Peanut butter came out on top. The 2-pack at Costco runs about $18. That is 56 ounces total. Each jar is about 2,600 calories. So you're getting over 5,000 calories for $18. That is less than 1 cent per calorie. Meanwhile, those survival food companies are charging you 40 cents per calorie for meals that taste like cardboard soaked in regret. Here's a real story. 3 years ago during a winter storm, we lost power for 8 days. I had stocked rice, beans, oats, and 4 jars of peanut butter. The peanut butter is what saved us. I mixed it into oatmeal, spread it on crackers, ate it straight when I needed energy to clear snow or haul firewood. My kids never complain because peanut butter actually tastes good. That matters more than preppers want to admit. If your food tastes like garbage, you lose morale fast. Here's a mechanic. Store peanut butter in a cool, dark place. It might separate over time, but you just stir it. No big deal. And here's why it survives panic. Peanut butter is seen as a kid snack, not survival food. During shortages, it sits quietly on the shelf while people fight over the freeze-dried buckets. This next one's going to sound strange, but it is one of the smartest items you can stock. Number 7 is Kirkland Organic Rolled Oats, the 10-pound bag. Oats are stupid cheap, crazy versatile, and they last up to 2 years in the bag, longer if you vacuum seal them or use food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers. I have oats in my pantry right now that are 3 years old. I opened a container last week. Perfect. No rancid smell. No bugs. Here is what nobody talks about. Oats are not just for breakfast. You can grind them into flour and make bread. You can add them to soups to thicken them and add calories. You can eat them raw if you soak them overnight. You can even feed them to chickens if you are raising birds. They are one of the most flexible staples you can store. Last spring, I challenged myself to eat nothing but oats for 5 days, prepared different ways. Overnight oats with honey. Oatmeal cooked with coconut oil and cinnamon. Oat flour pancakes. Savory oats with olive oil and salt. I never got bored, and I felt completely fine. No energy crashes. Here's a mechanic. For basic oatmeal, it is 1 part oats to 2 parts water. Bring to a boil, simmer for 5 minutes. Add honey, coconut oil, nuts, whatever you have. The 10-pound bag at Costco costs about $12. That is 160 ounces. Over 17,000 calories. Compare that to instant oatmeal packets that cost 3 times as much and come loaded with sugar and garbage additives. And here's why oats survive shortages. They sit in the baking aisle or the cereal aisle, not the emergency section. People overlook them completely. Number 8 is one of those items that sounds too simple to matter, but it is a total powerhouse. Kirkland Organic Black Beans. The 6-can pack of 15-ounce cans. Canned beans are one of the best shelf-stable protein sources you can stockpile. They last for years. I have opened cans that were 4 years past the printed date. Perfect. And unlike dried beans, which require soaking and long cooking times, canned beans are ready to eat straight out of the can. No fuel, no water, no prep. You just open and eat. Here is a real-world scenario. During a power outage 2 years ago, I lived on canned black beans mixed with rice and olive oil for 6 days. It was dead simple. I cooked rice once in the morning on a camping stove, then portioned out for the day, added a can of black beans, drizzled olive oil on top. That was it. High protein, high calories, zero complexity. And it actually tasted good. Here is what I do now. I keep at least 20 cans of black beans rotating through my pantry at all times. I use them in normal meals, then replace them. The 6-pack at Costco costs about $8. Each can is around 385 calories, so that is over 2,300 calories per pack. Compare that to freeze-dried beans that cost 5 times as much and require water to rehydrate. Canned beans are ready now. And here's the shortage-proof logic. People panic by dried beans, not canned. Canned beans sit quietly in stock while the dried beans section gets destroyed. This one is pure genius, and almost nobody talks about it. Number 9 is Kirkland Organic Brown Rice, the 12-pound bag. Rice is the backbone of food storage for a reason. It is cheap, calorie-dense, and lasts essentially forever if stored correctly. Brown rice has a shorter shelf life than white rice, about 6 to 12 months in the bag. But if you transfer it to a food-grade bucket with an oxygen absorber, you can stretch that to 5 years or more. I have brown rice stored this way that is 3 years old. Opened it last month. Cooked perfectly. Here's why brown rice beats white rice. It still has the bran and germ, which means it contains fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and selenium. White rice is just starch. During a long-term scenario, micronutrient deficiency becomes a real problem. Brown rice helps prevent that. Last winter, I did a 30-day pantry challenge where I only ate from stored food. Brown rice was my foundation. I cooked big batches, then added different toppings throughout the week. Black beans, olive oil, honey, peanut butter, whatever I had. It kept me full and functional. Here's a mechanic. Cook brown rice just like white rice, but give it more time. 2 parts water to 1 part rice. Bring to a boil, cover, simmer for 45 minutes. The 12-pound bag at Costco runs about $15. That is 192 ounces, roughly 20,000 calories. Compare that to those expensive survival rice buckets that charge you triple for the same product with a fancy label. And here's why it survives panic buying. Brown rice sits in the health food section, not the main rice aisle. When panic hits, people clear out the big white rice bags and ignore the brown rice completely. Number 10 is the last one, and it is one of the smartest long-term plays you can make. Kirkland Organic Canned Chicken Breast, the 6-pack of 12.5-ounce cans. Canned chicken is shelf-stable protein that lasts for years. I have opened cans that were 5 years old. Still good, still safe. And unlike freeze-dried meats that taste like rubber, canned chicken actually has texture and flavor. You can eat it cold straight from the can, or heat it up and add it to rice, pasta, soup, whatever. Here's the real story. During a week-long camping trip last summer, I brought 6 cans of this chicken, a bag of rice, and a bottle of olive oil. That was my entire food supply. I cooked rice over a fire, mixed in chicken, drizzled olive oil on top. Every single meal. I never got tired of it because I was genuinely hungry and it tasted good. That is the thing about real food versus freeze-dried garbage. When you are actually in a survival situation, taste matters. Morale matters. Food that you enjoy eating keeps you mentally strong. Here is a mechanic. Store canned chicken in a cool, dark place. Rotate through it by using it in normal meals. Chicken salad, chicken tacos, chicken and rice, chicken soup. It is stupid versatile. The 6-pack at Costco runs about $22. Each can is about 180 calories. So that is over 1,000 calories per pack, plus around 75 grams of protein. Compare that to freeze-dried chicken that costs $40 for the same amount and requires water you might not have, And here is why canned chicken survives shortages. It sits in the canned meat section, which gets hit, but not nearly as hard as the rice, beans, and pasta aisles. People overlook it. The common wisdom in prepping often favors dried legumes or bulky meat alternatives, but Kirkland canned chicken breast provides a superior blend of immediate usability, taste, and cost-effectiveness. It is protein-ready now. While the calorie count of about 1,080 per six-pack, 180 calories per can, might seem lower than a jar of peanut butter, the key metric here is high-quality, biologically available protein. The pack delivers roughly 75 grams of protein, essential for maintaining muscle mass, repairing tissue, and keeping your immune system functioning during periods of caloric restriction or physical stress, factors often ignored when preppers chase only calories. Furthermore, canned chicken is infinitely more versatile than most people realize. Think beyond just adding it to rice. For instance, a simple salad can be made by draining the chicken and mixing it with olive oil No. 5 and salt/pepper, pantry item. Instant tacos or wraps are created by mixing the chicken with a dash of seasoning and placing it on tortillas, if stocked, perhaps with olive oil No. 5 and black beans No. 8. A stovetop soup base is easily achieved by combining chicken, water, and pre-cooked quinoa, No. 4, using coconut oil No. 1 for fat, and adding salt. This item's true value is the zero prep factor. When you're physically exhausted, conserving precious fuel, or dealing with an immediate situation, the ability to simply open a can and have ready-to-eat, satisfying protein is invaluable. This is a crucial advantage over freeze-dried meats, which require not only fuel to boil water, but also a substantial amount of water itself, a resource that may be rationed during a crisis. The shelf stability is also excellent. I recommend keeping a marker handy and writing the purchase date on the bottom of the can in addition to the printed expiration date. This makes stock rotation simple and reliable, ensuring you are always consuming and replacing the oldest cans first. Finally, the psychological impact of canned chicken cannot be overstated. Eating actual, savory meat, not a reconstituted powder, boosts morale significantly. In a high-stress scenario, feeling like you are eating real food is a powerful mental asset. This is why canned chicken sits in my top 10. It hits the sweet spot of nutrition, convenience, taste, and scarcity resistance. While everyone else is fighting over the same tired freeze-dried meals and prepper cliches, you now know 10 Costco items that are cheaper, easier to store, and will actually still be available when the panic starts. These are not secrets because they are hidden. They are secrets because nobody is paying attention. Drop a comment and tell me which of these you're stocking up on first, because I want to know what you are prioritizing. And next week, I am exposing the 7 most popular prepper items that are actually a complete waste of money and will fail you when you need them most. Trust me, you do not want to miss that one.